Hi, folks. Steve Adubato here. Let's talk theater. In New Jersey, we've got John McEwen, who is Executive Director of the New Jersey Theater Alliance, and Bonnie Monte. She is, in fact, the Artistic Director of the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey. Good to see both of you.
Good seeing you.
Thank you.
Hey, John, as we, by the way, tell everyone what the Alliance is, and then, Bonnie, I'll give you a chance to talk about Shakespeare Theater, and then I'll talk about where we are overall as we finish up 2021 in the theater community. John?
Sure. The New Jersey Theater Alliance for 40 years has been a service organization for the professional theaters in our state. So we provide a wide range of resources for our theaters, marketing, advocacy, technical assistance to give them the tools and resources they need so that they can do what they do best, which is produce theater. So we basically provide a wide range of services to just strengthen all of our theaters as businesses. And certainly these past 18 months, the need for a service organization, we really, I have to say, we're really grateful that we could be there for our theaters these past 2 years, 18 months.
Yeah. No, it's going to be about 2. Trust me, this will be seen by the time it's 2 years in March of 2020, but we're taping right before Thanksgiving. Bonnie, the Shakespeare Theater in New Jersey is?
The Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey is in Madison, New Jersey, and it's about to celebrate its 60th anniversary season in this coming year in 2022. It is the oldest Shakespeare theater on the East Coast. And over the years, we have evolved into one of the best classic theaters in the nation. We do a lot of Shakespeare, but we also do a lot of other master playwrights. And we are a teaching theater. So we have 12 different very high impact education programs that have really, to some extent, changed the landscape of students in Shakespeare in New Jersey, which has made me very proud and happy over the years.
Thank you. By the way, we'll put up the websites for both organizations as you're speaking. John, let me ask you, pre-pandemic, theater community always struggling and challenged. Economics, not easy, right? No money, no mission. I've said it a million times. I don't even want to say post-pandemic, but since the pandemic, from an economic point of view, how challenging has it been for most theater organizations, John?
This has been a devastating time for our theaters. They haven't been able to produce in literally 2 years. They've been very innovative in providing some virtual programming, but we know virtual programming, one, it's not cheap to do it correctly, because you want the virtual programming to be high quality. But that's not theater. Theater is the experience between the audience and the artist. And, but it's also not only the productions, they've also lost all revenue in terms of their classes. So all activity had to come to practically a standstill. And then the theaters quickly pivoted to do some things virtually. But again, that certainly wasn't providing any kind of income that was going to meet their expenses. So staff had to be let go. Teaching artists could not be contracted. So it had many ramifications for the theaters.
You know, Bonnie, as I listen to your colleague, as you listen to John, I think about this a lot. We're able to do what we do. Listen, it would be great to have the two of you in our studio, whether an NJPBS in Newark, when it opens back up, or our friends in New York at the Tisch WNET studio at Lincoln Center. Listen, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like sitting across from someone. But we, on this side of the equation, as broadcasters, we can pull this off. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. Explain to folks, in following what John said, why it's totally different in a theater situation. It doesn't translate, does it? You need to be there.
You do. I mean, the very essence of what we do depends on the formula being, I'll say, a 50-50 equal formula, which is that 50% of that is the audience. And without them, what we do is a whole different kettle of fish, and not the kettle of fish that it needs to be or wants to be. You know, we've actually managed to do a fair degree of programming over the past, 18 months. but it has not been the same. We are lucky that we have 2 outdoor stages. So we were able to do some live performance, and the feeling was palpable. It was in the air. You could feel it as people were coming up and saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe we're back and able to see you in person," because there is a chemistry, a feeling in the air that's just not replicable by any other means.
And John, let me ask you, talk about safety protocols. What are they? And I'm going to be clear. Are the safety protocols different in every theater, or is it across the board in New Jersey, all theaters must adhere, as we speak right now, to the following protocols regarding COVID? Which one is it?
So there are slight variations with each theater. All theaters are practicing safety. That is their highest priority. But there are some slight differences. A lot of our theaters, I would say right now we're at 32 theaters, do require a proof of vaccination and mask mandate wearing policy while in the theater. Not every theater has that specific proof of vaccination policy, but they're all practicing safety guidelines at the highest level. We just launched an openinright.com site, which is a microsite of our website.
So if people, I'm sorry for interrupting. If people go on your site, then they'll see what, John?
They'll see openinright.com, and it's part of our opening night, Opening Right campaign. Right. We're celebrating that our theaters are coming back, but they're coming back by putting safety center stage. And within that site, they'll be able to get links to all of the theaters to actually see what their specific safety guidelines are. There's certain guidelines that everyone is following, and we do list those. And we've also included our presenting partners, because many of our presenting centers around the state, many audiences are attending our theaters as well as those presenters. And so we wanted to ensure there was some consistency when we're educating the public. So when they come back into a theater, they feel comfortable the minute they walk in the door, and when they're as comfortable as when they're sitting next to their fellow theatergoer.
Got about a minute left. Before I let both of you go, you're both in the arts. You are artists. You are creative people. But those of us who run businesses, nonprofits, for-profit, whatever, we have to be business people. To what extent, Bonnie, are you involved in the business of the Shakespeare Theater?
Pretty much completely.
Does that include this? Does that include, you have to raise money?
Yeah.
It's
I
fun.
have to say,
a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a large part of my job. Yeah.
And John, same thing for you.
Oh, yes.
And the funding comes from corporations, foundations, individuals?
That's right. That's right.
And government.
And government. Yeah. Government's, what's this Pandora's box? Is government support for the arts where it needs to be? John, go.
Well, I really want to thank Governor Murphy. I mean, the Arts Council saw its biggest increase in appropriation in its 55-year history. That's to be applauded. We also, our theaters also received a lot of relief funding from funding that the governor put aside for the small businesses.
Pandemic
program. There were many opportunities available to our field to assist them during this very difficult time.
And Bonnie, I hate to cut you off, but you understand this. I'm getting cues. Hey, Steve, we're out of time. You got to cut it. You understand, right?
We do. Thank you.
It's part of show business, even though we're in public media. Hey, Bonnie, thank you. John, thank you. Wish you and your colleagues all the best as you continue to put important art out there, because being there is really great. Thanks, both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay with us. I'm Steve Adubato. That's John. That's Bonnie. I could pull this off. I know I can. We'll be right back.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Bank of America, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, PSC&G, Holy Name, Johnson & Johnson, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, the Russell Berry Foundation, Choose New Jersey, and by Berkeley College. Promotional support provided by Meadowlands Chamber and by NJ Biz.
Data shows that many patients have avoided seeking critical health care in the wake of COVID-19 for fear of contracting the virus. Delaying medical care can have serious consequences, so you should never second guess or ignore your symptoms. At Holy Name Medical Center, we have measures in place to prevent infectious disease from spreading. We're clean, we're open, and we're safe for all your healthcare needs.